I'm here at Illuxcon with artist Boris Vallejo. Thank you for speaking with me.
My pleasure.
I'd like to start by asking, is there an artwork here that you're most proud of and why?
I couldn't say that I have anything, especially not here, that I would say I prefer this over the others.
Okay.
I just selected things, before I come to the show, and I frame them. I have them framed, and there's all stuff that I really like, and I think it represents what I do.
Oh, okay. Some people have said it's like a shot at children. You don't want to pick just one, like they're all...
Well, truthfully, sometimes it's really hard. But through the years, I've been in many, many shows, through my life. And through the years, I have learned, to just pick a few. You just go by a number. Like in this case, I just wanted to have 6 pieces.
Oh, okay.
Because of the space that I had here.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to have 2 things that were really totally new, that people hadn't seen before.
Oh, okay.
And 4 that were really better known, and part of the collection.
Okay.
But I mean, I really have thousands of pieces that I have done.
Right.
So it really, through the years, I say, you develop. I don't want to say the ability because it's not really, it is quite as difficult as that. But just to select, really the things that the people at a certain show are going to prefer.
Right.
And this is I have been at this particular show, since its inception, which was about 10 years ago.
Right.
So.
Okay. So which 2 pieces here are your new ones?
Those 2.
And
they're sketches.
Oh, okay. And
they're preliminary sketches.
And the titles are... I'm trying to read the titles.
Fantasy Friends.
Fantasy Friends.
And Sweet Encounter.
Sweet Encounter, okay. So what inspired these 2 pieces?
That one is a private commission for a collector.
Okay.
And he described to me by email what is that he had in mind, for the painting.
Okay.
And so the way this works, people really get in touch with us, my wife and myself, that work together in the same studio, and they choose, what they want us to do. Sometimes together, not too often nowadays, but actually they tell us, this is what I have in mind, and so. From the description that they give us, we do sketches.
Okay.
So the sketch is done, usually is pencil sketch, black and white pencil, and then send it to the client, and he or she, we just comment on it, and then we do the painting.
Okay.
So that particular one at the end is I did it in pencil to begin with. That's a private commission.
Okay.
And I did it in pencil. And that was about 2 days before the show started here.
Okay.
So I did it in pencil, and then I felt, okay, I'm just going to just put ink, and it is the way I used to work with ink years ago.
Okay.
I did it in ink, black ink, and then I thought, I got to put some color in it.
Okay.
And so that's what, just to bring it here.
Right.
To have it here as one of the pieces that I would bring that nobody else has seen before.
Okay.
So there it is, and this was a pencil drawing. I just felt, okay, let's do another more finished pencil drawing, and so that would be a new piece also, and it would be different from the other things that I have drawn.
Okay. Do you use models or do you draw
I always
from hand?
work with models.
Always. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. How do you know when a work is finished?
Well, I couldn't say that I have a problem with that at all.
Ah, okay.
The thing is, I have done thousands of paintings in my career. I started working professionally when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
So it has been quite a while. And you develop actually a second sense, I would say, from just painting to decide, okay, this is it, this is finished.
Oh, okay.
It's no effort for me. I know exactly, not only when it's finished, but I know before it's finished, I can say, okay, it's going to be another, day, 2, maybe 5 hours, whatever it is, it's to the point that it's finished.
Yeah.
So I know perfectly well when the painting is finished.
Okay. All right. What inspires you?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. I have to say, number one, I mentioned before, I'm married to an artist, professional artist. Mm-hmm. Between the two of us, we have 4 children from previous marriages, and they're also professional artists. So we all inspire each other.
Yeah.
Everything is about painting. We paint every day. Mm-hmm. We really take care of all the things that we have to do related to art. Mm-hmm. And our lives are just basically, the life of an artist.
Wow.
So whenever we get together, we talk to each other. Most of the time it's just art. Mm-hmm. So that's my basic inspiration.
Okay. What is your most important artist tool? Is there something you can't live without in your studio?
No, pencil.
Pencil.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say, more than anything else, pencil, because everything starts from a pencil. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say.
Do you have any favorite tools that, or favorite things that have maybe a nostalgic sense that you like working with, or that,
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Really, seriously, painting is so second nature to me. Once again, I have to say, it's really totally second nature,
Okay.
and it was actually since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. As a young kid, 4 years old, something like that, I was drawing on the walls of my mother's kitchen.
Okay.
And it's something that came out naturally. Mm-hmm. It was no effort. It just came out. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just doing it.
Okay. Do you listen to music or anything when you
Always.
paint? Always.
Always. Music is a passion.
Oh, okay.
I used to play the violin.
Okay.
And I played at a small orchestra. Mm-hmm. And I always listen to music when I paint.
Do you listen to something that matches the mood of the painting, or is it just whatever?
No, I just like all kind of types. In fact, I would say with my wife actually put more understanding of popular music into my head.
Oh, really?
Because previous to my knowing her, my meeting her, I would always listen to classical music. Mm-hmm. And that was everything that I would listen to would be classical music. Mm-hmm. Now, she has an eclectic taste. She likes classical music, she loves classical music, but she also loves popular music. Mm-hmm. So what we do nowadays is, because we work in the same studio, one day we listen to classical music, the next day we listen to popular music. Okay. So she has actually enlarged my understanding of music, my enjoyment of music, which is great.
Yeah.
I just love it. So we have a very, very eclectic type of music,
Nice.
taste.
Any favorite composers of
No,
yours?
I actually, if it's like asking, you have a favorite painting. I can't say that. I really don't like playing favorites.
Okay.
There is a number of compositions, by different composers that I really, really love. But I can't say that I have a favorite, composer or a favorite music from any composer and so on and so forth. So it's just like I just love music.
Okay. Vivaldi, since you played the violin, are you Vivaldi?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that I used to play myself, really, because it's very accessible and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So yes, I do love Vivaldi.
Okay. Do you still play the violin at all? Or?
No, actually, a few years ago, I'm getting there, in age, and because I have been doing this for, hopping around, for quite a while. But anyhow, playing the violin is actually not very natural to your body. It's stressful to your neck and to your shoulder and to your arm. So at one point or another, I figured, okay, I'm getting a little bit too many pains and aches here, in my neck, and I need my neck to pain. So I gave up playing the violin, which, frankly, I really thought it's not like the world is going to be missing, my playing the violin. So, and the enjoyment that I get of music is the same, just by listening to it. I don't have to play it to enjoy the music. So, no, I don't play anymore.
Okay. I'm curious, Latin music, is there any Latin music that has inspired you? Since I'm Latin too, and I'm curious if there's anything.
Where from?
Well, my dad was Dominican.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So I have a lot of that sort of folk music, background. So I'm just curious if that's been a part of,
once again, I have to say, yes, it has been part of it, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't say, that Peruvian music by itself, was, a favorite that I selected, over the others. No, I just enjoyed all of it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there an element of art you enjoy working with most, and why? That could either be medium or process or...
I love working with oil.
Oil.
And if I were to say, is there any subject that I enjoy over others, I would say that my preference is to work with figure. So oil painting and figure painting is, I would say, is my favorite.
Okay. Okay. You answered some of this already, but how did you start making art, and why do you make art?
It was something that was always there. And when I was growing up, my father was a lawyer, and he had put into my head that as a career, I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Medicine, just like I believe that until the point that he got sick and I had to get a job. I didn't have to get it. I would say, it just came to me. Somebody offered me a job. I was going to art school, and somebody in the art school saw my work and offered me a job. So that's how I got involved into making money, really doing art. So from that point on, I realized that that's what I wanted to do as a career. And I was, I got to study 2 years of pre-med. And following that, I realized this is not really what I want to do. I don't have what it takes to go into that profession. So on the other hand, I love painting, and it came really very natural thing to me. So at that point, that was that.
Yeah. Okay. Since you mentioned medicine, obviously your figures are very detailed. Did any of your early studies, with anatomy maybe, did that
absolutely
impact?
There were two things actually that gave me a deeper understanding and a deeper enjoyment of the human body. The 2 years that I studied medicine, that I pre-med, with the dissection, which of course made me understand, the anatomy. And in addition to that, I also got into bodybuilding, which also made me understand the function of the muscles in a different way, in a really very, very visual way. So those two things, really. And I would say, if I were to say, somebody would say, which one more? I would say bodybuilding more than anything else.
Okay. Did you ever use yourself as a model for your early paintings?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
In fact, that painting there, I was the model for that one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What's the name of that one?
Tattoo.
Tattoo?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. Nice.
So.
Cool. Let's see. What role does the artist have in society?
Well, that's kind of a tough question because I don't think I have the authority to say that.
Okay.
I'd really like to think that especially talking to people that come to see at shows like this, I think that people get a great deal of enjoyment out of not only just looking at the paintings, but owning the painting.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that there is definitely a large part of the population that enjoys art. So haven't made a study of it, so I can't say any more than that.
Okay. What movies, books, or other artwork in science fiction or fantasy have inspired you?
Everything. I can't single out one thing. So.
Do you find that do movies affect sort of your inspiration at all, or?
I would say art more than movies.
Okay.
I enjoy movies, but I would say that art by itself, just going to museums, going through all over the world, just looking every time that I go to a different country, I just go to the museums, look at the paintings of old masters, new painters, galleries, and so on and so forth. Part of my nature, to just do that. Just, how could I say, refuel myself constantly with everybody's work.
Okay. Do you get to watch movies that are coming out now? Do you watch many of them, or?
Not as much as when I was younger.
Okay.
I have to say.
Okay. Because it seems like movies are becoming even more and more fantastic in their artwork.
Sure. Definitely. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I can't say that I spend a lot of time, watching movies nowadays, but definitely there have been a number of them, that are very inspirational, like Star Wars, definitely.
Right.
So.
Do your children, since your children are artists, do they ever bring things to your attention, I guess, that you maybe weren't aware of? Say in movies, stuff that's the younger generations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think of the superhero movies that are coming out?
I enjoy them. I think visually they are really very, very interesting. But it's not the bulk of. I couldn't say, I prefer superheroes to science fiction. It's all part of the same system. It's all part of what I find inspirational.
Okay.
So I wouldn't single out. I would say yes, definitely. It's one segment of the things that I really feel, not only attracted to, but the necessity to follow. But it's not it. It's just one of the things.
Did you read comic books when you were young?
Oh, yes.
You did?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Was it Spanish versions of American comics, or were there?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there were certainly in South America, there were, especially from Argentina, there were a number of really comic artists that were really, really very good, and I enjoy very much their work. And of course, there were translations, from the American books and so on and so forth. So yes.
Are there any South American artists from the past that people maybe don't know that you liked or that inspired you?
I'm pretty sure that there are quite a number of them. I remember when I was a young teenager, I really loved the work of a Chilean artist by the name of Hugo de Delio.
Hugo de Delio?
De Delio.
Okay.
And he actually, although he was Chilean, he worked in Argentina. And I love his work. Not very popular. It was actually more rendered, more really, how could I say, not so much comic art, but really beautifully rendered panels.
Okay.
So I like that. I thought it was different, and really very interesting.
It's definitely, I'll look into that, see if I can find any of his stuff.
I haven't seen much of his work, really. I remember seeing it when I was a teenager, but never after.
I wonder if anyone's archived it maybe and posted it online.
Maybe, I would imagine so.
Yeah. So, is there an art piece you'd like to create that you haven't done so yet, and what is it?
I'm sure that there are tons of things that I would like to do that I probably won't get to do, but I haven't made a list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have so much work that I do, that my mind gets totally busy with that. I actually don't spend that much time, with it maybe,
Oh, okay.
or what if,
You focus on a task and just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have. Do you have any last words?
No,
or
just, enjoying myself and having fun.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you very much. That was great. Please visit CrisAlvarez.com for more cool stuff. That's CrisAlvarez.com. Thanks for listening, and keep imagining the future.